Welcome to another edition of Popcorn and Root Beer. And this week, we are not talking movies. We are taking you into the world of professional wrestling because SummerSlam is this weekend. I am so excited. I'm joined by my buddy Rod. I cannot wait to talk wrestling with all of you. Let's just get to it.
Grab your popcorn, dim the lights. It's movie time, we're taking flight. From the silver screen to your earbuds here, we're diving deep, so lend your ear. Action, drama, comedy, gold. Stories fresh and classics old. We'll break it down, scene by scene, from indie gems to Hollywood dreams. Roll the credits, let's begin. Talking movies, where do we fit in? Heroes, villains, twists and turns. The love for cinema always burns. Roll the credits, it's time to see what makes the movies magic for you and me.
Welcome, one and all, to a very special edition of Popcorn and Root Beer. I am your host, Steve Lawson, and I am joined by a man who needs no introduction to the IBT family because he hosts so many different things for us, but mainly you host our Backroad show, correct?
Absolutely, NASCAR with
NASCAR. Yeah, and I mean, you know what? It's easy to know that because look at behind you. Look at all those like license plates and all that stuff. Rod, what's going on, man? Introduce yourself to the Popcorn and Root Beer listeners because they may not know you.
Absolutely, Steve. Well, first and foremost, I've got my popcorn again, and I've got my root beer that I'm drinking. However, this time around, I've got a little special something in my root beer. I put a little Captain Morgan in my root beer, so I'm gonna enjoy that as we get going too over the course. But nice. I am Rod Villagomez. I am the one of the hosts of the Back Road with Seth and Elliot. I also host the NASCAR gambling podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Have my own site called soyouLikeSports.com where I dive into all kinds of crazy stuff. And yeah, I mean, I try to keep myself busy so I don't get in trouble.
You know what? It's really all of us are doing that. And I love that you have this energy about you because having you on the show is always so exciting because you are a little bit older than I am, not much, but a little bit. And it's nice to know that I don't have to grow up all that much in the next few years. You know what I mean? I think you just bring such a healthy, like, you know what, like youthful exuberance, if you will, to life. Like you have fun. And I think that's just the best.
I appreciate that. It's especially on a day like today where I was kind of feeling my 50th midlife crisis in about a month. It's nice to hear that. Thank you very much, Steve, for the positive reinforcement.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's always nice to know like what's coming. Well, not in the too near future for me, but you know, it's coming.
It's okay. I'm grandpa. I get it. I know. I'm shaking my fist at the clouds every day, but don't worry about it. You'll get there. You'll earn that spot.
Yeah, one day. I got my first like gray hairs in my beard. It like is the first, like my hair will never go gray because like I just come from a long line of people who like don't go gray until their 60s and 70s. But I got one like on my mustache, and my boyfriend loves to point it out, and he's like, "You have gray hair." I'm like, "Thanks." I wish my hair would go gray because obviously I dye it, and it just makes it so difficult not to. Before we dive into the show today, we are going to talk so many matches for SummerSlam. We're going to talk SummerSlam as much as we can. We're also going to talk about Hulk Hogan, and we're going to do a little Hear Me Out where I'm going to put you on the spot and make you make some really hard choices that might get you a little bit of internet hate. But isn't that what it's all about? But before I do that, and before I make you the bad guy, I want to promote Wanna Parlay. Wanna Parlay creates fun and exciting competitions that connect people. It embodies the joy of winning, the heartbreak of almost winning, and all the other emotions you will experience during competition, which is what we are all here for. It is from the brains of two former Kansas State football players. It's about stacking legs, parlays, competing with real sports lovers like you, like me, and getting cash, right? Like that's what we're all in it for, is to make money. And you can make up to 1,000 times your money and then just cash out like that. If you are ready to get in the game, flex those parlay legs, download the app. It's for iOS, it's for Android, it's in the Play Store. And get a 100% match bonus when you use the code IBT at sign up. It's right there on the screen. Use the code IBT, get 100% bonus match at Wanna Parlay, and the link is in our episode description. I mean, that is basically free money, 100% match. Put in your money, do the match, and then pull your money out.
It's really that simple. I mean, it
It's
feels
really
like
that simple.
it's a no-brainer.
Popcorn and root beer makes people money, and that's what I started this show to do. I am here to make you money. And I am just so excited for you to be here. So naturally we're gonna start on a dour note. The death of Hulk Hogan has hit the wrestling world hard. Now, Hulk Hogan, up until somewhat recently, this would have been a much bigger tragedy than it ended up being. And what ended up happening is kind of an incredible. I mean, you in a world of hate, face and heel turns, the real life heel turn of Hulk Hogan is unlike anything I've ever seen. I mean, his last appearance we ever saw of him in WWE, he was booed mercilessly by the crowd. And in my opinion, and I don't mean to be this guy, but deservingly so. Right? Like Rod, what do you think the legacy of Hulk Hogan is? I guess I just want to ask that. Where do you think his legacy sits?
Well, again, in a world of recency, right? I mean, this is a world where everybody knows everybody's business, and it just, you remember the last thing that you remember about that person, right? And so that is the lasting impression that you will take with you about that person. And for Hulk Hogan, that left a lot of bad tastes in a lot of people's mouths, and that's what they're going to remember. So his legacy is not it. Steve, it'll probably take us, I would say, 20, 30 years to really go back and look at the breadth of what Hulk Hogan brought to not just the wrestling world, but kids in general, right? I mean, just the whole, the beginning part of his life, right? I'm sorry that the Swan Song did not live up to the lasting legacy of what he did in the 80s and in the 90s to kids like me. You know, I grew up with Hulkamania. I grew up with all of the lore that surrounded Hulk Hogan, you know, body slamming Yokozuna, just like all of the big monumental moments of wrestling that shaped my childhood, and just the pop culture icon that was Hulk Hogan, right? You couldn't open a comic book without seeing him. You couldn't turn on your TV without seeing him. You couldn't do anything without seeing Hulk Hogan. But unfortunately, we get older and we start to really do things that kind of screw up that legacy, and we're human beings. So, yeah, I mean, his legacy, I think, is going to be a lot to be desired, especially because of what happened as he got older and as he started to do the things that made people very uncomfortable and very angry and upset, and rightfully so. Like you said, we're not justifying anything that he's done, but we're just saying that it's a shame that he had to do that because of what he was once upon a time. Yeah, and it's hard to kind of reconcile with, right? Because this was a guy that everyone looked up to, and then all of a sudden you have to stop and look at it and go, wait a minute, what do you do? Like, and you see why people had such a hard time with it, because that's a hero that is now really fallen bad. And then not only just the racism that was rampant in Hulk Hogan's life, it seemed, it was the backstage politicking that wound up being revealed over time. When kayfabe died, it felt like Hulk Hogan was like the number one target for everybody to be like, and here's how Hulk Hogan fucked me over today. Yeah, and honestly too, when you think about Hulk Hogan and when you think about celebrities in general, right? This is a stark reminder that you should never put more than you need to into, I guess, idolizing celebrities, right? Because they are ultimately human beings, and if you identify yourself as somebody who stakes a gigantic claim of your own personality in somebody that you see every day, you only see a small part of them. You don't live with them. You don't get to see the entire picture. So I would caution anybody, you know, to not idolize your heroes too much, because you're going to find something out about them that you don't like. And that's goes with everybody too. I mean, nobody is above this. There's something about everybody. You know, you could probably pick the most cleanest person in the entire world, pick apart their life and find one thing that you don't like. So I would caution everybody. I mean, this is a cautionary tale, Hulk Hogan, of never put them on a too high of a pedestal, because they're going to fall off. Yeah, I think that's just the perfect way to kind of look at it. But
Needless to say, I thought we had to cover it. It would be irresponsible of us not to, but we are here to make people money and lay down some bets. So I jumped on Bet US earlier today, found the matches, and I want to get your picks, and I will give my picks as to who we think will win, and hopefully makes people some money in the box office forecast segment. Let's get to it. As we do here on Popcorn and Root Beer, we love to bring you as many betting picks as we can. And this episode is, of course, no different. WWE has plenty of betting available on BetUS, and I am hopeful that Rod has some insight for the people that will make them some money, because I want all our people to just roll in dough and have all the money that I could never have because, life and poor financial planning. We're going to start with the Intercontinental Championship match. Dominik Mysterio, AJ Styles. We're finally getting it. I thought we'd get it at Saturday night's main event. We didn't. Dom was hurt. It was funny. It's created a funny storyline. First off, are you shocked how funny this storyline has been?
I'm shocked at the rise of Dominik Mysterio. Like, I honestly believe that everybody put him up there so quickly that, I mean, not quickly, but like, it just feels like he went from just part of Judgment Day to now all of a sudden he's just this own guy. You get with Liv Morgan, you have a little fling with Rhea Ripley, and all of a sudden everybody loves you. And it's crazy to me how Dirty Dom has just become like a staple now, right? I mean, it just, that surprises me. I personally, I bought into the not liking him part of it. I'm that guy. I'm that fan. I'll buy into the hype. But it's kind of crazy to me how quickly he's become, I guess, pretty relevant in the sport.
Yeah, he is a like star on the rise, and so interestingly doing it. He's like the antithesis of his dad, right? Like he's done it in the total opposite way of being a pure heel, but is WWE running into a problem? I'm going to get to the odds in a second, but is WWE running into a problem that people like Dominik Mysterio too much to keep him a heel?
Yeah, I honestly, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just, to me, you can't, this bad guy thing has gotten so out of hand that you have to like it now, because if you don't, then you're just going to spend all your time hating him, and then you're going to be on the other side of it. But yeah, it feels like ever since, right, the Judgment Day started to fracture, and then Liv Morgan, right, Daddy Dom, that really, I think that put him over, because Liv helped with the whole Dirty Dom thing, coming out and antagonizing him. You see Dom smile ever so slightly when Liv comes out, just like, oh, I hate this, and then it's like, no, I don't really, keep bringing it to me. Those were the types of things that made you actually go, he's actually not bad. Like he could actually pull this off.
Yeah, this kid's a good actor. I'll tell you that much. This kid knows what he's doing. Like, and he's so young. I mean, WWE has a solid 2 decades ahead of them of him being at the top of his game. Like, that's so rare to stumble upon, to have this guy ready to go. Now, the odds for this match, Dom is the favorite, going off at -150. AJ is going off at +110. Who do you think walks out Intercontinental Champion?
It's so hard to stay hated. It's so hard to stay the bad guy the whole time, but Dom is doing it so well that I can't see them taking this away from him. I can't see AJ Styles. Really? Well, because here's the thing. AJ Styles, they've worked him up, right? I mean, but they continue to work him up. Dom, like you said earlier, is a star on the rise, right? I mean, maybe you give AJ this opportunity to kind of, do it and have Dom come back at it. But I got to tell you, Steve, the way these things are shaping out now, the way these matches are shaping out, we've seen the retread of so many of these for the last. Is it just me though, or has this been going on forever? I don't think it has. I feel like these storylines, they just keep dragging out, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe it's because I was 9 years old and everything felt new, but like it just seemed like everything was happening like Iron Sheik, and then boom, Iron Sheik's gone, and then these grudges lasted, maybe a year, but they didn't drag out for a year and a half, 2 years. It just feels like some of these are.
Yeah, I think part of it is we have so much more access to the WWE now. Like we're seeing a lot more shows. They're on TV a lot more. I don't know if they were like always on the weekly shows back then and stuff like that. But like more than that, what's happening a lot more, I think, is injuries. And that's why a lot of these rivalries wind up being like forever and a day long because they're just more athletic now, right? Like they're doing things that are insane, but they're getting hurt. Like look at Seth Rollins now, right? Like blows his knee out. So whatever they had planned for him is now just stretched out to, whenever. And there's no timetable on it. So now you just have to be like, okay, in the back of your mind, Punk and Reigns are pissed at Rollins. When he comes back, we will pick that up again. And so that is tough. For this match, I like this rivalry. I like what's going on. I don't think there's a wrong choice. I would put the title on AJ at this point because I think you could. It depends. If you want to keep Dom heel, you got to keep the title on Dom. But if you want to turn Dom face, I think you take the title off of him and make a world title run for him that he doesn't win. He's not ready for that yet. But I think he could do a run at it. Or you have AJ win and do a series with Dom. AJ keeps it and then loses at WrestleMania, does the job for another young star to establish, right? I think that's the way I would probably do it. But if I had to put money down, I guess I'd say I'd put it on Dom because he is a star for them. And that's one of their premier titles. Like it's not a world title, but it's the next best.
Yeah, and really, honestly, plus 110 for AJ Styles. You want to do that as the underdog. You want to kind of take that little chunk, but like you said, I think there's just way too much hype right now around Dirty Dom to not let him at least keep this one more time because the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, we saw Gunther take it how many years in a row and hold that title. So yeah, I can't see them stripping it from him now. Nah, maybe okay. So unless they do it now and they start making a run to WrestleMania between these two. That would be the only way because then maybe Dom gets it back at WrestleMania and the world loves you, something like that.
Yeah, it's tough. Like Dom's in a very interesting position because I don't think he's quite world champion ready yet. But it's funny, speaking of kayfabe, I think Dominik Mysterio is the best in WWE right now at keeping up kayfabe. You ever see him on interviews? Like, and they'll bring up his dad, and it's very obvious that Dom loves his dad. Like, truly and genuinely, but he just sits there and trashes them like on every single podcast he's on. Like we'll just take these random shots at him. I love that. So like the kid's committed. He puts on a good front. Next match I am intrigued in. I don't think they built this nearly enough, but it's happening. Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton. This is going off. Jade is a heavy favorite, minus 500 to Tiffany's plus 300. I mean, they are saying this is signed, sealed, delivered. They're putting the title on Jade.
But do you think so? Like, to me, it seems obvious, right? And that's why the odds makers are covering themselves pretty nice because Jade's had that run, right? She's been a tag team champ. She's been she's separated herself from Bianca. Like she's done the things that she needs to do to establish herself as a singles powerhouse, right? And they've been pushing her too. They've been pushing her for a while since she came out on that fated day to her thunder claps and everything like that. But the question is though, have they done enough with Tiffany? They did kind of the same thing with Tiffany. They pushed her up and they made her champion. They put the title on her. Are they ready to take it off of her now and give it to Jade? Is this going to start a feud later in the future? I mean, are we ready for Jade to be champion?
Yeah, that's the question, right? That's the $1 million question, I think, because you just had Tiffany beat Trish Stratus. Why do that and then immediately take the title off of her? But then if you have Jade lose here, what do you do with her? What do you do with her? Like, I don't understand what happened with the Naomi rivalry either. Like, she beat Naomi. Now Naomi's a world champion, but now they're not fighting. Shouldn't this have been Naomi against Jade?
That's what a lot of people probably thought. And honestly, that might have been what it should have been, right? It just, to me, this is one of those ones where I don't want to say that they don't know what to do with the women's division half the time, but it just feels like sometimes they lose it, right? They get it. they get it right and they start to get it in there, and then all of a sudden it just like it fizzles out, and it's disappointing because there's so much you can do. That whole Tiffany and Nia Jax and like that little thing together.
Yeah.
All that was great, right? That was great. And then Rhea Ripley, and just I don't know, it just feels like sometimes they just let the foot off the gas and kind of forget about it.
For me, it's like almost like an embarrassment of riches, right? Like I think they have too many top tier women's wrestlers where it's like there's not enough titles to go around, right? Because like people have to lose, so it's like everyone's mad that Rhea Ripley's in the title picture all the time. But where else is she supposed to go? What else do you do with her? Like, what else do you do with Jade Cargill at this point? She's progressed as much as you can progress without being a world champion. Naomi earned her world title. Io Sky is a world champion kind of person. Tiffany's a world title kind of person. What do you do with all these people? And now they're just adding more. Now it's going to get even more dilute. Like it's going to be a mess because Stephanie Vaquer is a world title kind of person. What on earth are we supposed to do with all of these women wrestlers that are so unbelievable? And honestly, sometimes putting on the best match of the night.
Well, yes, absolutely. And I'm glad they added the Intercontinental champion, the women's Intercontinental champion title, because that gives you another avenue. But again, it's right. You don't have the US champion. You don't have those types of titles to hand out. And honestly, too, if you get too many of them, kind of like we do in the men's, or we did in the men's back in the day.
Yeah.
What do you do? Like, that's just too many titles.
Yeah. Like back in the day, for those of you who didn't watch wrestling back in the day, it wasn't just the US and the Intercontinental as the mid-card titles. It was the European Championship and the Hardcore Championship. And then stupidly a few years ago, there was like that 24/7 title that got thrown in there. And then I felt like they were making titles that were just like, you showed up to work today title. And like, here you go. Like everyone was getting a title. They were like, here you go. Everyone's a champion now. And then they just got rid of like the Hardcore and European title. They were like, that's done. We're dead. That's dead to us. So, all right. I wouldn't bet on this one because the odds are so stupid and wide. But my brain says Jade's going to win this. And I don't know, maybe they're going to have like a champion versus champion thing at like the Rumble or WrestleMania or something with her and Naomi in the future, which could be cool. But speaking of, actually, I'm going to save world title matches. We're going to jump to a tag team match. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. The odds on this match are, again, incredibly skewed. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso are going off at minus 1,600 versus Breaker and Reed at plus 600. Minus 1,600. You have to bet $160 to win one. Yikes. Or $16 to win one or something like that. It's like $16 to win $1. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, no, and obviously you can't bet that side of it, but build me a case for Breaker and Reed. Like, honestly, is there a path? This seems like such a throwaway match, but they wouldn't put it on the card if there wasn't a math.
I think there's a path. I think there's a path. It's because this faction needs to stay alive. It has to stay alive, and they don't have Seth to do it. So either they're going to scrap this idea and move on because Seth got hurt, or they are going to pull off the biggest tag team upset of all time and beat Roman and Jey. Because how do they lose this match and not look weak? Like, and one thing about Triple H that he should know, right, is that you can't make the faction look weak around, like, when they don't have the head. What factions, heel factions especially, are supposed to do is look really strong when their leader looks weak, like Triple H did with Evolution, where he was cheating to win. They constantly have to help you win. Even Roman looked a little human when he had, like, when the bloodline would, like, save him from losing. It always happened. That's what these are designed to do. But if you have Breaker and Reed lose this match, then they're not hanging, right? I think you could have this, and this is how you do it, and you want to protect everybody. I get it. Roman cannot take the pin here. Roman cannot take the pin here. If you have Roman take the pin, I know it's like a monster moment, but I think it kind of hurts in the long run. Jey, fans love Jey. Fans do not love Jey as world champion. Jey could take the pin here. Yeah, like Yeats will always go on, but Jey could eat a pin here and be just fine. Do you disagree?
No. Think of what they've done with Bron though. Like they turned him just psycho over the course of the back end after I think it was WrestleMania, but they just turned him psycho. He was just spearing everybody and
Yeah.
you know, they were tossing him out of the arenas. They were just making him just this gigantic force to be reckoned with. And you don't do that and then just all of a sudden go, oh, well, okay, you'll lose against Reign and Uso. Like I'm not. Again, these are such gigantic odds. It's hard to argue against it, but I will say that you're right. They could possibly make this a very chaotic situation in which Breakker and Reed just sort of back into a pin over Jay. But at the same time, it just seems like if they're going to do this and if they're going to give Reigns and Uso the win, they've got to make Breakker and Reed. They've got to make Reigns and Uso steal it, I guess, if that makes any sense, right? They've got to make it to where Breakker and Reed look like they could have won. However, Reigns and Uso end up with the win because of some technicality. I don't know,
like a savvy vet move where like they've got the ring experience, so they sneak a roll up because Braun Breaker loses his mind for a second and is like distracted by Roman. Jay cradles him, boom, 1, 2, 3, get out of there. Yeah,
exactly, something like that. Some surprise ending or something that we don't go, oh my God, these guys are weak. Because you're right. I mean, without Seth, they're not much between the two.
Right.
They're beeline card guys. They're essentially bloodline. They're Tamatonga and Taologa and you know those kind of guys.
Yeah. Except like, so if you want to elevate them, you have to have them win here. So I just don't know what you do. Do you think this was supposed to be a 3-on-3?
Of course. How do you
don't think they rushed Roman back? You think this was always the plan? Like Roman was always coming back on Raw. It was going to be. Who do you think the third guy was then for Reigns and Uso?
That's a good question. I mean, who's out there that could have been the third guy?
Because it seems like Jimmy's in a feud. Jimmy's
already occupied with himself too. Yeah, I don't know the third could have been, but I'm sure they would have roped somebody in. They would have figured something out.
Was it like, you know, Sammy's with Cross? Like I don't know who it would have been.
There's not too many people left. Everybody.
Yeah, like I'm like, who was it? What was the plan? I would love to know. Like, I would love to, like, if Triple H could answer any question currently, like, that I'm like, what was the plan here? This is it. I would love to know who the third guy was supposed to be. Or
this could have been just a tag team match with those two, but with Seth, like, there as a special.
Maybe. Yeah, that's a possibility for sure. Yeah. All right. Let's get to the world title matches because I am fascinated by some of the matchups we got. And that's going to start with CM Punk against Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Punk is a heavy favorite at minus 260. Gunther at plus 170. This has to be Punk. This has to be Punk.
This has to be
Punk.
Right?
It's been 10 years. And Gunther, why? All right, I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to be rude to Gunther. I think he's a very good wrestler. I just am not excited by him. Gunther is such a throwback wrestler that it's boring to me. It's just very 90s. You know what I mean? He's not terribly athletic. It's slow. It's methodical. His ring technique is incredible. Like, he's the kind of guy that Bret Hart would be like, no, here's a guy. Like, he'd Chris Collinsworth it, but like Bret Hart style. And then he'd be like in Goldberg, and that would come up too, inevitably. Why Goldberg wanted Gunther? I don't know. I don't really know. This has to go on Punk, though. He's done everything you've wanted him to do. Yes, he got hurt early in his run, but everything he touches is turning to gold right now. You want the World Heavyweight Championship to feel like a premier title and catch up to the WWE title? You gotta put it on CM Punk now. You gotta put it on him.
Because go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's these legends, like, people are all pissy about part-timers. I don't hate it because they're like, I am the best. Like, until I am not the best, I'm going to do what I want. I like it.
Yeah, and think about what, so he's talking about retiring again, right? He's talking about 11, or I saw an article the other day about 11 guys that CM Punk wants to see before he ultimately retires. And so, yeah, you got to have it one more time. But you talked about having to shift gears when somebody gets hurt. Think about what happened with Punk, right? You bring him back, all of this glory and all of this Drew McIntyre feud and Seth Rollins feud, and you get everybody pissed off in the locker room at CM Punk, and then he gets hurt. And then you have to scrap every plan that you had.
It's her in
So
his
now you
first
go,
match back too. That was bad.
it was bad. You're like, yeah, CM Punk. Aw. And so then
Yeah.
you're done. So what do? I mean, you have to build this up. And to your point about Gunther, the Intercontinental title is one thing, right? To have that for 6 million days in a row and to have that title for as long as he had, that's fantastic, right? A guy like Gunther, that's what it is. I never saw, and I didn't understand why you put the world heavyweight title on him, because you're right. He's not of that caliber. He's not a CM Punk. He's not even a Drew McIntyre. Like, the personality that you have to hold that title, right? He just doesn't necessarily have it. And the in-ring presence, it's just not necessarily all the way there. And like you said, not to hate on the guy, love him as a wrestler. He's a fantastic wrestler, but like, there's something else that's got to come with that title.
Yeah. And he's just not big enough. Like, and not in a stature way. I mean, he's huge. It's just, when you think of WWE superstar, right? Like, his promos even like aren't great. Even his great promos are like fine. So, and I thought he did great like promos against Goldberg, but like CM Punk would have done those exact promos in his sleep. Like, that's a iffy, like, whatever promo. Like, it was easy. So I don't love the idea of keeping it on Gunther. I think the Intercontinental title is the perfect kind of title for Gunther to have, because he's just this monster human that it's like, this is something that shows that I am progressing by beating him. Like, I am reaching the top. I have to get through this immense obstacle to become the elite. Like Sammy.
Oh,
and now they did nothing with it. Did nothing with Sammy making it past him. But nonetheless, I thought it was a much bigger deal. It's time to put the title on Punk, though, and kind of move on with our day.
I agree.
All right. Speaking of moving on, we got Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky in a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. Naomi is going off at a massive favorite, minus 800. Rhea at plus 250 and Io at plus 400. So it seems like the odds makers sure think Naomi's walking out of SummerSlam as the champion. And I am inclined to agree, because why on earth would you take it off her now?
Yeah, I made the mistake of seeing Rhea Ripley through the last one, and obviously Io took it from her. So yeah, this is one where they've just finally got Naomi up, and now she's got the title. And like you said, there's an embarrassment of riches in the women's division, right? You coined it so perfectly, because you've got these 3 championship contenders. All 3 have held the title. All 3 deserve the title. All 3 should be in the title hunt each and every time they step foot in the ring. So as much as you want to see Rhea put it back on, as much as you want to see Io get it back, right? It's Naomi's time again. And obviously she's held the gold a few times herself. So yeah, she's got to be back on top for a little while before somebody else goes and claims it from her.
Yeah, and she's doing the best work of her career, I think, right now. This heel run is amazing. And I think giving her a win over Rhea and Io is exactly what she needs to be solidified as a main eventer. The only thing that scares me off of Naomi is she very recently, talked about wanting to start a family. And I'm like, uh-oh. Right? And that's not my feeling on it. I'm like, hey, you do you. Go nuts. Right? But does it give Triple H pause and have him say, wait a minute, if she's going to bang out and go have a kid and be gone for 9 months, like, when is she doing that? Because you don't want another, like,
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch. Yeah, that's what I was like. My mind went to like Awesome Kong, or what was she when she did? Remember she like came, like she debuted and then immediately Karma is what she was called. Remember that? She like debuted and then the next night was like, by the way, I'm pregnant, can't be here, bye. And you're like, what do we do? Like, it's an insane thing. Like, so you can't really have that, right? Too many times, or else people are going to be like, is this just what we do? We put the title on someone and then they just get pregnant and they leave and then gone. And it's like, yeah, kind of. So I'm going to take Naomi here, but I wouldn't be shocked if they stick it on Rhea Ripley again and just call it a day.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. If it's not Naomi, then who is it? And then who pins? Because obviously the triple threat. So who gets pinned? Is it Naomi that gets pinned? Is it?
I think Io Sky is going to take take the pin here.
Okay.
I actually, that's not true. I don't think that exactly. I think if Rhea wins, Io eats the pin. If Naomi wins, I think Rhea's eating the pin.
I agree.
That's kind of what, because I think if Naomi wins, you got to have her pin Rhea. That's the top. That's the number one person. Number one in the women's division is Rhea Ripley, and it will always be her until she retires, essentially. And she's also like 20 something years old, I think. So, like, you got time. So, one more match though, because I want to dedicate some time to our next segment, and we are going to go to. I am so fascinated to hear your thoughts on this one because it's Cody Rhodes, John Cena, rematch from WrestleMania. Hopefully, no Travis Scott. The odds for this match are as follows: Cody Rhodes going off at -260 and John Cena at +170. Rod.
You want to talk about conspiracy theorists going off all over the place? I mean, there are so many different takes on this particular match in general, because obviously with Cena taking that heel turn, and look, this is what I love about John Cena. Not just as a wrestler, but just as a human in general. All right. So he comes out, WWE absolutely loves him, right? Respect, loyal, hustle, honesty, right? I'm straight cut, everything. And you love that about him, right? And he does this his entire career. And then he goes off and he acts. And he does a fantastic job in the acting space, right? And then he's like, well, okay, I want to come back and do this. What do I do that I haven't already done? Well, I'm going to make people hate me. But it's so hard to hate him, even though he's taken that turn and you're like, oh, John Cena, I hate you. But I still love you. Like, I've spent 16 years of my life loving you.
We're hating him out of respect for John Cena, right? Like, that's what we're doing. We're saying, all right, here's your boo, but we're waiting for that face turn to come back around so we can freak out.
So that's the thing, right? Is this the opportunity for him to lose to Cody Rhodes to only make you circle back? Because he's only got a few appearances left. Was it 14 now that he's got left?
Yes, and the countdown's on.
Yeah, the countdown's on. So you take the title away from him here, right? In the final of heel, and then all of a sudden he turns back into the face, and he can carry himself off maybe one more time with the title. But this Cody Rhodes John Cena thing it's a lot like Cena, or it's a lot like Rhodes and Reigns and Rome. You know, this type of thing where it's like, okay, guys, we get it. We're good. Let's not do this too many more times, because I don't want to see this.
This should be
as a headline every time.
This has to be it. This has to be it for him. I don't want Cody Rhodes to win this match. I don't think he should. Frankly, I don't think he should. I would love for Cena to win this match. Here's what I would do, and here's what I would have done if I was the booker. I would have called The Rock and been like, you are showing up at SummerSlam. I don't care how you have to do it, but you're showing up. Cena's going to win. And The Rock is going to beat the fuck out of Cody after the match. I'm talking like blood, the whole thing. Just like he did when he was the final boss. Cena's walking up the ramp. The Rock is pummeling Cody. And Cena stops. The crowd sees Cena stop. Cena looks back toward the ramp, back, books it, dives back in the ring, attitude adjustment to The Rock, face turn, saves Cody, whole 9 yards. The next night, I think Cody turns heel on John Cena.
Ooh.
That's what I would do.
That's a great script.
I would swerve that. I'm available for hire. I have applied to be a writer for WWE like 7 times. Every time it opens, I apply. And I cannot even get an interview. So it's rough. It's rough out here for your boy.
Well, I'll tell you this, just in closing of this one too. The fact that it's a street fight, right? The fact that this is an opportunity for these guys to get crazy with each other. There's a lot of opportunity for a lot of different things to happen.
Yeah, that definitely is. And making it a street fight was pretty smart, because Cena's wrestling style, and especially at this point in his career, I mean, he is nearing 50 years old. It isn't conducive to a good match with Cody, straight up. We saw that. It's just his style is a little bit more choreographed. Cody's is a little bit more like free flow. Let me bounce around, do this, that, the other thing. It just doesn't work. Like, that's why Cena and Punk have always worked well together. Cody and Cena, not as much. But that's okay. Take our advice. Don't take our advice. But one thing I want you to do with the forecast is always have fun and be responsible with your money. Please, do not like put crazy amounts of money on this. Remember, the answers are already predetermined. This is not like a fair fight. The odds may be in there. Like this is not like the NFL where it's like, oh, well, statistically, this makes. There is somebody in a room who has said this person is winning. So be very careful about how that goes. We are going to go to a segment that I love, and it's called Hear Me Out. And I'm going to explain what we're going to do on the other side of this drop. Let's get to it.
Maybe nostalgia's got you blind, or maybe I just see it right. I know you want to shout, but before you shut me down, just hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not afraid to take the heat. Hear me out. I'll die on this hill if I need. You can fight it, you can hate it, but you'll never say I forget.
Dare to be bold is the tagline for this segment. And you, Rod, are about to be very, very bold because we are going to play a game that I have invented called Push, Job, or Fire. And if it sounds familiar to some of our listeners, it's because it's based on Keep, Trade, Cut. But no one's ever done it for WWE like this before, so we're going to do it. The game is you will push one of these wrestlers to being a world champion. You will relegate one of them to jobber status for the next 5 years, maybe their whole career. And one will be fired. And this isn't he'll get picked up by AEW fire. They're just gone from wrestling forever. You blackball them. Okay?
Yikes. Hold on. Let me take a shot of liquid courage.
You know what you need to try if you like a good alcoholic root beer is Not Your Uncle's Root Beer.
I do like that one.
It's a good one, right? Like it's solid. I like it. I love root beer. I don't drink really alcohol, so I just kind of drink regular root beer like a child, but I like it. I'm gonna start easy. I'm gonna start easy for you. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these for you.
Let's go.
All right, let's start easy. Push, Job, Fire, Austin Theory, Oba Femi, and Damian Priest.
I would. Well, Damian Priest has already been a champion, so I guess I would push him back there. And then Austin Theory, I would probably Job. I'm not really a big fan of his whole gimmick. If he changed, maybe. And then who's the third?
Oba Femi.
Yeah, we'll fire Oba Femi. Sorry, Oba. You're not catching enough traction.
He hasn't caught enough traction for you yet, huh?
No.
Can I tell you? So I play a lot of video games. I play WWE 2K, my little general manager mode because they brought it back, and I was very excited about that last year. And Oba Femi is always a draft pick of mine. Love. Yeah, you know what? I'm drawn to him in a weird. He's just so very big. Seems very dominant. I like it. But you'd push Priest back to the world title picture, huh? Not Austin Theory. You don't think Theory can get there?
I don't know. It doesn't. To me, I just anytime he comes out, he doesn't pop for me. Like I'm not instantly drawn to Theory and what he's. I mean, Damian Priest. He's just. Like he's been that guy, you know, and honestly, if you would have put him with somebody else, I may have jobbed him because I feel like, you know, he's just on that cusp. He pops, but like when he comes out and cuts a promo, sometimes I'm like, okay, guy, let's move along.
See, I really do like, I like Theory. I think he's got you know what? His moveset is unbelievable and he's so athletic and he's getting over now a little bit more. It seems like he's finding his way. I would go with him. I think Priest, we've seen the peak of what he can be. So I'd probably job him out. I'd push Femi, job Theory, fire Damian.
Damn. That's spicy.
Yeah, it's mean. All right. It's going to get a little bit harder as we go along here. So buckle up. Let's go to the women's division. Push, job, fire. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, or Io Sky.
Oh man, you got like all three former champions in that one.
Oh yeah, it doesn't get any easier. Let me tell you.
I got a soft spot for Becky, but I can't push her again. Right? I mean, she's been there. She's been at the top.
You can because you got to put a title on her.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you're putting a title on this person. This is your champion.
It is, and like I said, I absolutely love the man. Like it just, my daughters absolutely love her too. It's
Yeah.
one of those things where like anytime she comes out, and my wife loves. Look, if my wife loves her, there's something to her. So okay, fine. I'll push Becky Lynch back up there.
Just because your family would never forgive you if you didn't.
Well, no, they would not. If they're watching right now, they're probably like, "Oh, thank God." But between the two, like Bianca Belair, my daughter loves my youngest loves Belair. She loves her, so I would have to job her. But I don't want to fire Io Scott. Look at man, why Steve? Why are you doing this to me, man?
Oh, it's so bad. It's such a tough game.
All right, I got to push Becky. I got to job Bianca, and I'm sorry, Io. Without damage control, I got nothing for you.
All right, Io Sky getting fired. All right,
sorry, Io. I love you.
Let's stay in the women's division. We're gonna go Rhea Ripley, Naomi, or Tiffany Stratton.
Well, I mean, damn, you really are pulling the stops, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because Rhea Ripley, obviously, you can't job her. She's not jobbable. Like she's being jobbed right now, right? I think in my opinion, she's
in a weird way. Yeah, she's like a super jobber.
Yeah, like everybody wants to beat her for the title, and then they take it from her, and then she's got to go and get it back. So it's like she's being jobbed, and you don't like that. But Tiffany being jobbed is not bad because Tiffy time, as great as it is, you don't have that same visceral reaction when she loses a title as Rhea Ripley, right? So I think you got to push Rhea, you got to job Tiffany, and then Bianca was the last one. No,
Naomi.
Oh, Naomi. Okay, well then, yeah. Sorry, Naomi. I know your glow is fantastic, but gotta let you go.
Gotta let go of Naomi. Can't turn her into a jobber. You don't want her as the primary champion. Let's move to some let's get to some bloodline people. Push, job, fire, Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa, and Jacob Fatu.
Oh, that's easy. I'd fire oh wait, okay. Read them off one more time. Solo. I'd fire Solo. Yep.
Fire Solo.
Easily.
And then it's Jey and Jacob.
Yep. So I'll push Jey up there, and then Jacob gets job. But Jacob, in and of his own right now, people are starting to love Jacob. Like
they are.
He's really coming on, but Yeet reigns supreme, right? I mean, it's
about them Benjamins sometimes, man, right? Like, who's going to make you the most money? That's your champion. That's Jey Uso for you. All right, so that one was a bit easier. I was a little surprised at how easy that was because I thought maybe Solo coming on hot would sway you.
You know what I don't like about Solo the most, though? And it's just that when he starts to cut promos and when he comes on the scene, and maybe you should push him because it does get that sort of response to me where like I really honestly can't stand the guy. Like I can't stand him when he comes on. I can't stand him when he does. I just like, to me, I don't get that feeling of I want to see him on my screen. Like I'm good. Like, thanks, Solo. You've done your job. See ya.
I think I'd push Jey, job Solo, fire Jacob.
Yeah, I can see that too, though, because
what do you do with Jey? Like, I don't think Jacob's a world champion promo, right? Like, his promos aren't good enough. I know he's athletic with that, like, greatest moonsault ever move, but he's not, like, smooth in the ring. He doesn't put on great matches. I don't know. I think everyone's like, this is a future WrestleMania main eventer, and I'm like, on a weak WrestleMania card, maybe? Yeah. Like, on a weak card, perhaps. I got two more for you.
Let's do it.
Push, job, fire, Penta, Dominik Mysterio, and Sami Zayn.
Ooh. I know Penta's got a little steam coming from him right now. Obviously, Dominik, you got to push, right? You got to keep pushing Dominik. Everybody loves Dirty Dom. I know,
but everyone loves Penta. Penta gets that's a pop. It's a built-in pop. He is just, that is, if you are having a show and you're like, it's a little dead right now, Penta.
Wow. Yeah, but it's tough because, I mean...
And Sammy's the same way. Sammy's an injection of energy.
Oh, my God. Sammy, yeah. Because who doesn't just scream at his intro, right?
Yeah.
Like Sammy brings it to it. So, but see, all three of these guys, well, two at least, have been up there already. So, like, what do you do? God, you're not making this easy. All right, fine. I would job Sammy.
Okay.
But you can't fire Dom. Fine. I'd still push Dom. because Liv Morgan is helping him, and I'd fire Penta because I'm sure Penta would. I know he's not going to ever wrestle again in your scenario, but I'm sure he'd find another home.
All right. Yeah, he would. I'm actually going to add one more to this, but I'm going to save it for last. But we're going to go to the next group. And this one I had a hard time with. When I was playing it in my head, I'm like, I don't even know where I would go with this. Push, job, fire. LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton.
So you job Randy Orton. You can't push him to another title. I love
you can't? I think he's still got 5 good years in him.
Look, I think he's got 10 good years in him. He's
still an elite promo, too.
Yeah,
now he's an elite promo.
Yeah, like, no, honestly, Randy Orton is one of my all-time favorites. Like, he will forever have a soft spot in my heart, too, because, you know, when I got to talk to him, like, it was one of those surreal events that you never, ever forget.
Yeah.
He was such a great interview. But then when we were done with the interview, like, he was just a great human being on the other side of it. You know, sometimes, you know, they're in character, that's fine.
Yeah.
But when they're done, there's like, all right, fine, next, right? Because they do a million pressers.
It's so funny that Randy Orton has become the great person on the other side of it. Isn't it like just when he was coming up, it was every story was how Randy was such a dickhead. And now he is truly one of like the best ambassadors for professional wrestling in the world.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I said, I could never fire that guy. I mean, it just the way he handles the profession and the way he handles his role, whatever that is, you know, whatever that happens to be, he will play it and he will play it to the best of his ability. I mean, even now, right? Even now he's in a tag team match with Jelly Roll. Like how many other, you know, celebrities.
So unfortunate. When are we going to get a heel turn for Randy Orton, by the way? It needs to happen. He needs to go back to being a heel. He's been face for way too long now. I am uncomfortable with how long I've liked Randy Orton. I want to hate him again because that's where I'm just so comfortable being.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So we job Randy Orton. The other two options were
LA Knight and Drew McIntyre.
I would push LA Knight back up and I would fire Drew. You know, and here's why I would fire Drew, right? And it's not so much that I don't like Drew. See, and this is Steve, you're turning me into a guy that I'm not. I'm like, I'm not a mean guy. I don't have a mean blood in my body.
Well, someone has to be fired.
This is true. So, but Drew, I just feel like he's got one trick, and that is to come out angry every single time, right? It doesn't matter what the situation calls for. He's just always angry. He always
Drew McIntyre is no different heel or face. He is just a mad human being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's it. He's just got one gear, and that is just straight rage. So to me, it's like I don't, you know, we can say Randy turning face and heel are two different guys. We could say LA Knight turning face and heel are two different guys, right? Because everybody's LA Knight, yeah. Well, what happens if it's LA Knight boo, right? He could. Do
you think LA Knight can go heel at this point?
It would take some doing.
Because you can do both with Drew. You can get both.
True.
But can you get LA Knight to be a heel?
I don't know. I feel like there's
such a good face that like he could be one of those like pure baby face guys.
But he could though, because if you just put him against the right person that everybody likes, right? If you put him against somebody that is the crowd favorite, and then he does something nasty, then yeah, you could probably do that. But it would take some doing. It really would.
It would take a lot of work. I feel like he's almost. This is going to sound blasphemous, and I don't mean it quite the same way, but like it's like an Austin, like Stone Cold situation where it's just his promos are so crowd responsive, and people want to have that moment with him. That like, what do you do, right? That's a tough one for me. So my answer for this, I finally have had settled on it, is I would push Randy, I would job LA Knight, and I would fire Drew because I can't job Drew. Drew is too much of a, like, he's so amazing in the ring and he's such a presence that like to job him feels just wrong. In some cases being jobbed is worse than being fired, I think, in this game.
But then tell me too, because obviously, you know, Drew's been out, Drew's had injuries, Drew stepped away. Have you missed him when he's gone? That's the question.
I don't think I would. Yeah, you miss him in the fact that like someone needs to fill his place, and there's not a great placeholder for him. I don't think you'd miss LA Knight if he wasn't there either, though. When Randy's out, you know Randy's out because he's Randy, right? Like that's the thing. I think all three of these guys at this current moment are just a step below, like, they need to be there, or else you very much know they're not there. But they're all, like, waiting to be the guy again.
And for the record, I want to keep all three of you. I don't hate any of you.
I would push all three. I'd push all three right to the main event. I would do that. But the main event is occupied by the next three people that I'm going to give you, and you got to make your choice.
Oh, my God.
Push, job, fire, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins.
Wow. That is wow. You can't, I mean, all right, fine. So here's the thing. Because I feel like Cody Rhodes can be jobbed again, right? I get it. He had that gigantic thing, right? And everybody, when he finally won, it was emotional. But I feel like that might have been the pinnacle now, right? Yep. Because you let John Cena take it away. If he was going to be the guy forever, or at least for a very long time, you wouldn't have had this storyline with John Cena. You would have figured something else out, right? So I think you got to job Cody.
Okay.
And the other two were Roman and Seth, right?
Yep.
Maybe Roman's gone. Maybe this is his swan song. Maybe Seth gets maybe Seth gets pushed again.
Wow.
Or it's the other way around. I don't know. I don't know the right answer to this, Steve. You put me in a bad spot.
For me, the only solid answer to this, like in terms of like what I know for sure, is I'm pushing Roman. The tribal chief, the OTC, he's reached Austin, Rock, Cena, Taker levels of just that music hits, that crowd goes ape shit. It's unbelievable. Like there's things I want to see in my life, and very few of them are like bigger than like I want to be there for like a Roman Reigns entrance. You know what I mean? It's a moment. But other
Seth
two,
Rollins though, when you
I know. But Seth, it's been said so many times, and I disagree, but there is like a small part of me that agrees that when they do make him the guy, he's so good, but he's just not the guy. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't take it. And Cody Rhodes to me is in the same thing where it's like, I know you're saying he's the guy, but Roman Reigns is very clearly the guy. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day right now, you look at the WWE landscape and you're like, who's their guy? Who is the face of the WWE? It is Roman Reigns all day long to me. And it's not close. I would push Roman, job Seth, fire Cody. I am kind of out on Cody in general. Usually, I'm not the biggest Cody Rhodes fan. I think his promos are kind of meh. I think his matches are fine. Like, I don't love, like, you know what? I think I said it to you last time. Cody Rhodes has never said anything cool in his entire existence on TV. That's my issue with Cody Rhodes. Everything he's ever said is the cheesiest, like, hunk of garbage sometimes. I'm like, what is that? Why can you not cut a promo? Like, when he's like, hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. I'm like, why'd you say it like you were on Sesame Street? Like, that's how a Nickelodeon character would have said that line. Like, what is with this Disney Channel acting we got going on with Cody Rhodes? When Roman Reigns says something, I just feel like he means it. Even if he doesn't, I know he's acting, but like part of you believes him. I haven't believed a word Cody Rhodes has said ever.
It's funny. And honestly, it's kind of true, because if you sit back and think about it, I see where you're coming from. I 100% can see your side of it as well. But I also do know that there was so many people out there that just were on that Cody Crybabies train that, like, if you took it away. Now, granted, you are absolutely right. Roman is such a huge, but here's the thing. We've seen big, larger than life names leave the WWE, WWF, right? And it just keeps rolling on.
Can I just ask you this? Has Cody had a great run because Cody is great, or has he had a great run because he's been put with the best talent, the best storyline since he's been back? He comes back, he gets Seth Rollins. Like, does Cody elevate people the way Roman? I know it was part of the storyline that, like, oh, the island of relevancy, but Roman Reigns really did. When he had a feud with anybody, Sami Zayn became one of the biggest stars in the world because he feuded with Roman Reigns. Could Cody Rhodes do that for Sami Zayn?
That's actually a good question. No, because if you think about it, I mean, look at Solo, right? When they were having their huge bloodline feud.
Cody couldn't get him there.
No. And Solo's relegated to what? Now he's just still
he fell off.
NFTs, right? That's
right.
Whatever.
And what do you think the peak of Solo was? Because for me, it wasn't when he fought Cody. It was fighting Roman on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, to fight Roman Reigns, to be in a feud with Roman Reigns, to be in a program with Roman Reigns, that's the peak. That's still the peak.
Once again, I am all for all three of you. I love all three of you. Steve just put me in a very bad position to where I had to choose between my favorite folks. But no, honestly, and the only reason that I said Roman was not because I don't respect, obviously, what he's done and what he's doing. I just feel like the WWE can continue on if they had to, even with, I mean, it's bigger. You try being up for 365 days a year, right? That company gets mad props to me because there are companies out there that put out a weekly or a monthly program or whatever, but these guys got to be on it 365 days a year. They've got to continue to do storylines.
And it's incredible because these people do have to put on storylines through injuries, through things like that. I mean, you watch any sports league, an injury cripples a team. Patrick Mahomes blows out his ACL. That's it for the Chiefs. Yeah. The WWE can't just throw their hands up and be like, lost season, Roman Reigns blew out an ACL, Seth Rollins blew out an ACL. That's it. No, they have to be like, we'll pivot. We'll pivot. WWE is an amazing. Yeah, it's an amazing product that a lot of us love to talk about. A lot of us love to watch. It's a spectacle. And you know what? I want to say this to all the people. I know I've gone a little over time, but I'm just going to use this moment to say this. Anyone who's like, but it's fake. Okay. And the Marvel Universe is what? A documentary? Like, that's the stupidest argument. It's a television show. We know. You all watch Love Island. That's watching someone pick a fake wife for 16 weeks in a row. They don't like each other. They don't even know each other. The Marvel Universe. You're telling me that's what you sit on, like, bated breath being like, wow, I can't believe Robert Downey Jr. like they killed himself for this movie. It doesn't happen. It's fake. It's all fake. That's what TV is. That's what you want real. Watch a documentary. Even half of those are fake.
Well, they are too. And reality shows more and more you're starting to find out are swerved in a little way. But I also tell this to folks too. They're like, well, how can you stand wrestling? And I always relate it obviously to a soap opera because the storylines are already predetermined and you already know what's going to happen at the end of it. But the athleticism of the guys in the ring, that you cannot script, that you cannot fake, that you cannot CG. The things that they do, the things that they put their bodies through, it literally, I would never, ever. I tried once for like a week, and that was it.
Yeah. Most pain I've ever been in my life. And I was a good athlete. Like, I was a really good athlete. I was a college athlete. Hitting the ropes was one of the worst things I've ever done in my life. Hitting the ropes was one of the worst things. And my friends were like big wrestling fans when I was like younger. They were like, you want to come to this thing with us? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll put y'all to shame because y'all aren't athletic like that. Like, they were like, go over the top rope. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's like a 10-foot drop. I'm not going over the top rope. Like, are you insane? They're like, you have to. I did. Ow. Right? Like, there's no way to brace yourself. They're like, oh, there's padding on the mat. Okay. It's like a rug. Jump on your carpeted floor and just land. It hurts.
Yeah. But and if you do it wrong.
Yeah, you hurt. You hurt. So that's where I stand on all of that. But Rod, thank you so much for joining me for this episode. This was so much fun. We try to do specials for the big WWE things. Hopefully we'll start adding more and more and more big ones, but the big four are kind of our thing, right? So the next time we'll see you will probably be around Survivor Series, which will be very exciting. Anything you want to say to the audience where we can find you? And how about this? Give me one guy who maybe we didn't talk about, maybe we did, that you would push to the moon today.
Okay, well, you can find me first at RJ Villagomez on Twitter. There's a link to everything I got going on in the bio, whether it's here, whether it's a NASCAR gambling podcast, obviously the Back Road. Seth and Elliot are holding it down with me. And then, of course, you can find me on soyouLikeSports.com, where there is a ton of stuff that I've got going on. I love all kinds of sports, and you can find it all over there. Who would I push to a title? How about I don't want to say the Grande guy because that would be a fantastic turn for it, but whichever Grande is in there. I don't know, honestly. I think everybody's pretty much covered. That's got to be covered. Like you said, there's a title for almost everybody, and I feel like everybody's got one that they need. So yeah.
I'm probably pushing LA Knight. I think it's time for him to have a world title run. That's who I would. That's who I would pair up with Punk next. The promos between them would be so much fun. Well, thank you again. That's that part of the show where we have to say goodbye to everyone. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, tell your friends about us. Tell us how great we are. Tell us how terrible we are. Tell us how handsome we are. Because, for myself, for Rod, thank you so much for being here. Until next time, guys, keep it in between. We'll see you later.